folks. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Madman with the Show. I promise we're not going to get too political on there. When we recorded these things, it was on election day. Hopefully things worked out okay, and we're not going to go into those because don't really know what's going on when we recorded it. But hopefully we're okay. I mean, either way. So somebody sent me this. They emailed me and I re-verified this, and I wanted to get a third verification, but it seems like this is pretty solid information. It's on the Otaku USA magazine, and I've heard some stories that this has been going on, and basically it is troubling. It is troubling. And how they put this in here, the title on there is that the pandemic is turning Akihabara into a hive of scum and villainy. You know where that's from. You know that's from Star Wars. And that particular line itself. Yeah, you could put to the perspective that, yes, something is going on in Japan right now. Now, if you're not familiar with Akihabara, this happens to be one of the places where there is a lot of little stores, manga places, anime, and also they're like some what they call the waifu cafes that are out there. A lot of them, and some of the shows and stuff like that. A greater perspective to watch this, to see what it's like, is to watch Metal Jesus Rocks, his episode on his trip to Japan, which is it's a great look at. It's several videos. He goes to the gaming stores out there. He got a nice haul the last time he was there. He does have a good show. He's got a nice gaming room. He's got everything. I've seen some gaming rooms, but he has one of the best ones that I've seen. I mean, there are some others that are tremendous, but this one is a nice size, and he has a lot. He does have a lot on there, but also there's a lot more toward that area. What goes on as far as going into these stores and stuff like that. I mean, he shows mostly the day stuff. At the time he was there, I would say, yeah, it was going on then, but I don't think we saw it on his videos. He didn't show it. He didn't show it at all. Now, the Akihabara district, it's in Tokyo. It's been a hot spot for quite some time now. Like, Sega has a big building there since 2003. There's been a lot of billboards. If you ever go there, it's a lot of billboards and anime, games. Some of it's sexy, some of it's, it's standard, some of it's a little bit over the top, but that's Japan for you. Now, reading on the articles, COVID-19 pandemic hasn't hit Japan as hard as other places, understandably. There are about 600 new cases per day, and life is relatively back to normal after a quasi-lockdown earlier this year. Still, many places are seeing the impact of less tourism and other factors. That's true. A lot of people are not traveling because of this whole situation. Some of it is a little bit intense. People are skewing the numbers and stuff like that. I'm not an expert in the number game, but like say here, CDC has changed their numbers. Not to get into it, and I would advise go ahead and look it up. Take it as a grain of salt that they're saying that a lot of people didn't really die of COVID. Now, I'm not going to go into it because I could get slammed by YouTube here. But like I said, go ahead, look it for yourself. Be your own judge on that. But like in Japan has many issues. They're handling depression. They're handling, situations where people have closed themselves out as far as, being around people. I mean, they self-sequestered themselves before people were self-sequestering themselves on there. That includes Akihabara, the mecca of all things anime, gaming, cosplay, and more. Yeah, it is a great place. It's a good district If you're looking for anime, video games, everything that's of Japan. A recent report by Shuken Gendar claims that now Akiba is now scarier than Kabuchiko. Kabuchiko is a red light district in Tokyo. It's you don't want to really go there. Basically, it's run by the YAKUZA and other criminal elements. Now what you're seeing is that basically it looks like they're getting into Akiba now. Shakuen Jenda quotes someone with ties to the police saying that rip-off shops with bad intentions are on the rise in Akiba. Since the voluntary lockdown ended, police crackdowns have come into full swing. If you have been in Akiba, you probably walk down the street just off the main road where young women in cosplay try to attract customers to their shops. In the past, most of these cafes were what they claimed to be above board made cafes or restaurants. If you've not seen these, they're really cool. I mean, you get to go to a restaurant, sit down, and these girls dressed up like in Maid costume, look like an anime and stuff like that. And they serve you, they talk with you, take pictures, but there's no sex in there. There is no sex. There's no bad touching or anything of that nature. But these days, says the source close to the police, you see a very un-Akibar like sight hovering behind some of those young women, men in sweatpants covered in tattoos. In other words, the Yakuza. Yeah, the Yakuza looks like they're starting to move in. Mistakenly enter one of those rip-off Maid cafes and you'll be charged hundreds of dollars for a single drink. The same tactic often used in Kabuchiko. Actually, it happens here. If you're old enough to go to a strip joint, what is that? You buy a drink for a stripper and it costs you $50 to $100 these days. Sometimes even more, depending on where you go. Why have these criminal elements come to Akiba? For one, during the peak of the pandemic, Kabuchiko was singled out for the number of clusters caused by its hosts and hostess bars. Yeah, the thing about it is, people were still going to these places, the tourists and stuff like that, before really a major shutdown. And even during the shutdown, there were issues of that nature. But what happened was the police cracked back in that area. The increased media presence made it so hard for the so-called rip-off groups to operate, so they looked for alternate areas. Yeah, wow. Akiba says the source was an idea for several reasons. For one, it connects multiple major train lines. Yeah, if you ever gone there, it's a mecca. It's literally you can get anywhere from there and get there from anywhere. Many people transfer trains there and might go out for a drink before heading home. For another, otakus are in some ways the perfect prey. They're often Akiba to do shopping, so to have a surplus of time and money. There are also stereotypes that otakus are weak to young women in costumes. Yeah, somewhat true and somewhat false. It depends on the original, the way like I said. There are many people. There's a big depression going on in Japan, and it's slowly starting moving across the world. It's already here. And I mean, you've heard stories of the suicide forest. There are actual people that just literally they're clustered in their home by themselves. They just live alone, to the point where Tokyo and the government, the individual cities have created organizations, and there are independent groups that go out and check on these people, bring them food, try to talk with them, try to bring them out of their home. There are those who are stuck in the gaming places that just never leave, that they work from home, and does that sound familiar to you? Yeah, exactly. This news about criminal elements comes at the same time that Akiba is feeling a massive financial strain due to the lack of tourism. It's hard times for Tokyo otaku mecca. Yeah, I mean, one thing with this area, they make a lot of money. I mean, if you've not seen it, This is one of the best places to buy gaming units. Used, mind you. You know, what I like about Japan is how they treat their products. You know, like I said, the Metal Jesus Rocks video is the best video to watch to look at these places. And when you look at it and you see that they wrap everything so nicely, tight, and they put everything together, it's nice. It's not thrown together like over here. Some of the places here, it's just thrown together. I mean, I've been to Chinatown. There's some good places, and then there's some places that are just a total wreck, just a total wreck. And when you go to Japan and you look at how everything is situated, you're glad to buy stuff from there. But now you have the gangs are moving into this area. And I mean, one good thing is that the tourists are not really there, but they are going after the manga fans, the anime fans that live there. And some of them are vulnerable. I have to admit, some of them are vulnerable because of what they go through, the loneliness, whether it's male or female. I think it's from both ends. You're going to get a situation where the YAKUZA is going to try to recruit females that are alone, that basically don't have men. And you ask yourself, well, wait a minute, what is the problem with the whole situation? Like I said, there are plenty of videos out there. Check them out. That discuss what is going on out there. There is a whole major issue. This is a big thing. And when you hear an article of this nature, am I surprised at it? No, I'm not surprised that this is going on. I'm hoping that the Japan starts to really crack down. I mean, the word is that they're trying to crack down on this. I mean, to get tricked into a cafe that's run by the YAKUZA, that you end up paying say like you're paying $25 for a meal, the drink, or whatever it is. I'm just being fictitious. That you would normally pay for, and then you're paying something like $1,000 for one run by the YAKUZA, and then there's possibly sex involved, and you know who knows what. Which is not what these nice cafes are. Like I said, they're really, really nice cafes. I mean, they're fun to go to. I'm surprised we haven't... I don't know if there are any here in New York. But it'd be interesting it is. But then again, you know, we do have... You know, the girls in the stripper trade do have many, many problems. And I know that for a fact from friends of mine who have run some of these bars and some of these strip joints. And they said, you know, the guys that they have to... kick out on a daily basis is not fun. It's an issue that always happens, that people get too drunk. But then again, these cafes don't serve liquor. Not from what I've seen. I mean, mostly what you see is like tea. One cool thing that they do, you know, like some people do the little etchings on your coffee over the milk and stuff like that, and they do this at these Maid cafes. And there are plenty of videos. I know there's a couple of videos where guys have been interviewed. People who are in the manga, writers, actors, that they go to these places because they love to go to these places. You know, there's this part, there's the YAKUZA, and there's another part that's the dark part also. And we'll discuss that in another edition. Because there's so much to discuss here to get it in a small amount of time. It's best to me to talk a couple of things. But it's funny how... Otago Magazine kind of puts it in a Star Wars type of hive of scum and villainy. So comment below. Tell me, you know, what do you think of this? Have you toured Japan? Have you been there? I've had family there. I've always wanted to go there, but these days, you know, it's very hard to do, especially with my health. You know, it's hard for me to fly these days because of my health issues. But I strive on, and I look at videos from Japan and stuff like that. And, you know, I get a bit of a nice feeling when I see some of the nice videos that come out of there. Especially, like I said, Metal Jesus Rock. Go check him out. Send him some love. Hit his subscription. He'll appreciate it. And we'll put the link below so you can catch it. Go to his site. But like I said, let me know how you feel. Let me know, when was the last time you were there? Would you like to go there? Are you upset that this is going on? Are you familiar with Japan? Have you heard it going on? So, don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit that like, and share the video. We'll catch you on the next video. We got a lot to talk about. Don't forget, Monday and Saturdays, catch us at the Madman Cafe, Brunch with the Madman, every Monday and Saturday at noon Eastern time. No longer daylight. We're not in daylight savings time anymore. We're in regular Eastern Standard Time. So catch us there at noon Eastern. We appreciate it. Check us out. Stay with us a bit. Have some coffee. Like I'm having coffee a little now. So we'll check you out. Have a good one. Enjoy. Go out there. Go buy some physical media, books and stuff. Enjoy yourself. Because there's one life we go around. Bye-bye now.